As we showed you at the top of the show, downtown Hampton, one of the hardest hit places here. The tornado ripped through there just after 8:15 last night.
That's right, and the Hampton Yacht Club boats were destroyed, tossed from the water. This morning, as you might imagine, a major cleanup is going to get underway. It's there we find 10 on your side's Art Kahn. Art, since you've been with us for the past hour, some incredible images coming from where you are this morning.
Yeah, and David, you hit the nail right on the head. It is going to be a major cleanup out here. We're now directly across the street from the Yacht Club. I'm at the corner of Victoria Boulevard and Bridge Street. The home here on the corner really got hit by this. You can see their privacy fence blown over down onto the garden. Then if Chris will pan up, you'll see the house where the railing on that balcony there was all blown out and broken. You see the fascia ripped off, and then above that, I don't know if you can see it from Chris's angle or not, but part of the chimney was also torn off. Now, I spoke to the homeowner. He declined our offer to go on camera, but he is nice enough to let us come onto his property and share this with you. And he said that last night when the tornado came through here, what he heard was a loud whistling sound, that the wind had a very sharp, high-pitched whistling sound. Next thing he knew, he saw one of the tents coming over from the marina area, and that's the one that's draped up there on the power poles and the power lines, as Chris is showing you right now. And then he started to have some glass break out at his house. The fence blew down, and then you see the rest of the damage. This is a pretty indicative of what most of the damage is like here in the neighborhood, Little London. But again, we want to point out to you, you said earlier you had a viewer was asking about a relative who lived here. Well, we have not heard of any serious injuries to anyone. Also, as I've said before, this is what most of the damage is like to the homes. I've not seen any house that was totally destroyed or had a roof completely ripped off. At least I have not seen that yet. So it looks like most of the damage was caused by blowing debris, falling tree limbs, and then big objects like this fence here that catch the wind and be blown over. We're going to continue to check on that. Hampton Fire is on the scene here now with one truck, but I think they're basically just going around making sure there aren't any hazards or hot wires or anything else that could spark a fire. We haven't smelled any gas. There were reports of that last night. I think that situation is under control. Still a lot of power outage here. The resident of this home told me that a couple of Dominion Power workers who were here on the scene when we showed up, and they've been here, they told me they've been here since 1 o'clock this morning. They say they hope to have the power restored in many of these areas here throughout the neighborhood sometime this afternoon. So we'll see if they're able to do that. But as you said, David, there's a lot of cleaning up to be done out here.
Yeah, a lot of cleanup, Art, and I can't imagine, a lot of the residents, what we were seeing last night was really tough to make out because of how dark it was. As they're walking out there this morning, what's their reaction been like?
Well, everybody is pretty surprised at what they see. There's a lot of picture taking going on, but I'll tell you, everyone also feels very lucky out here, and they should. I mean, you've seen the damage. We've showed it to you. Big trees, cars blown around, windows blown out. Someone could have easily been hurt seriously out here, especially with a festival crowd on hand. So, while everyone's looking at the damage and surveying what may have happened to them, everyone out here feels very lucky and is very well aware that this whole situation out here, as bad as it is, could have been much worse.
And Art, I'm trying to get an idea here, the broader scope of things out there. You are obviously at the hardest hit area, but how many blocks or miles does this go on?
Well, I'm not sure because we came straight to this area this morning. I can tell you that, we are on the opposite side of the water from where the Air and Space Museum is and the Crown Plaza area is, and there is some damage over there. One of the seafood processing plants, we saw a good part of the front of that building, at least for the metal siding, had been torn off. So there is some damage across the street. I understand there's a townhouse neighborhood, I think it's called Georgia, on the other side of the bridge, and we're going to try to get to that a little bit later and see what that looks like. But for the most part, I think the brunt of it is in this area right here. It's very concentrated, and that's because, at least as I'm being told, that this twister, as we said, it formed as a water spout, came on land, became a tornado, but from what I'm hearing, and these are unconfirmed reports, made its way, looped around, and made its way back out over the water, which is where it dissipated. But again, most of the most severe damage is right here in this concentrated area.